In this video, I'm going to give you 5 powerful techniques that will make you better at talking to people. Just by being aware of them, you are going to become a better conversationalist than almost anyone because people aren't aware of these techniques. And conversations are a big part of social interaction, and the better you are at it, the higher the chances that people are going to like you, respect you, and even admire you. So if you're someone who wants to become a better conversationalist who can talk to almost anyone, I suggest you go get a piece of paper and a pen in the next few moments. This is Calvin from The Modern Asian Man. Welcome to my channel. Five, get good at listening. Whenever I teach people that listening is one of the most important part of becoming a good conversationalist, people often get surprised. However, in a normal conversation, when the other person is talking, we are often worried that when it is our turn to speak again, we might not have anything to say. But if you listen attentively to what the other person is speaking, you will realize that there are many points in the conversation where you can lead the conversation towards. Not only will this make your conversations flow more naturally, it will also make other people like you as well. At the end of the day, everybody loves attention and being listened attentively to. If you think about it, the conversations where you walk away feeling satisfied and happy from are those where you felt that you have been listened attentively to. So we can reverse this psychology to realize that if we listen to the conversation partners that we are talking to, they are going to walk away from our conversation feeling satisfied and happy about having to interact with us. So the next time you are in a conversation, always remember to listen, because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. 4. Share and relate. Naturally, as humans, we like people who are similar to us. People who share similar interests, similar experiences, and similar passions. So the next time you are in a conversation, you want to relate to them as much as possible. If they talk about a particular experience, like, oh, I like traveling to Japan, even if you haven't been to Japan, you can relate to this experience by saying something like, oh, I love traveling to Korea. As long as you are relating the experience, it will lead to a good conversation. So the next level is to relate feelings about particular experiences. If they say something like, oh, I was so touched after watching the movie, you can relate to this experience by saying how you were so touched about watching this movie as well, or even how you even cried. The point is, in a conversation, you're supposed to relate your feelings and experiences as much as possible. If you think about it, the people that you're most fond of, your close friends, your best friends, your siblings, whoever they are the ones who share similar interests and similar experiences with. So we can relate this and apply this to almost anyone that you talk to. If you share and relate experiences and feelings about your life with other people, they are going to enjoy talking to you and getting to know you much better. 3. Ask open-ended questions. Questions are a big part of a good conversation, and to ask good questions is to become a better conversationalist. I became better at talking to people when I realized a particular concept about asking questions, and it is this: long questions lead to short answers. Short questions lead to long answers. Let me demonstrate it to you. So if I come to you with a really long question, like, hey, was the roller coaster ride really scary? Was it really terrifying? Do you cry? Do you scream? Do you do all of that? Then your answer will be really short. It will be like yes or no, because I have already done a lot of the talking. But if I come to you with a really short question like, how was the roller coaster ride? Then you have the freedom to answer the question in any way that you want. You can say that it was scary, you can say that it was not scary, you can compare it to other roller coasters that you have taken. Because the moment you ask short questions, your conversation partners are going to have greater freedom to continue the conversation from. And we do this by asking questions that begin with the following words: who, what, when, where, why, and how. So the next time you are in a conversation, always remember, long questions lead to short answers, but short questions lead to long answers. 2. parroting. Parroting is a really simple and powerful technique that I use when all the techniques that have come before this fail me. So when I've listened very attentively to the other person and still don't have any experiences that I can relate to, or when I don't have any open-ended questions to ask, I use this technique called parroting. And it is a really simple technique that almost anyone can pick up, and it is to simply repeat the most important word of what your conversation partner just said with the question. Let me demonstrate it to you. Oh, the other time I went to town to eat this really nice ice cream. Ice cream? Yeah, the flavor I ate was vanilla. Vanilla? Yeah, I haven't eaten a vanilla ice cream that is that good. That good? It sounds really strange when I'm talking to myself, but the gist of parroting is to get your conversation partners to elaborate more about the particular experience that they had just spoken about. It is a really simple but effective technique to buy you more time until you arrive at a point in a conversation where you can relate to the experience or ask an open question about. So the next time you have totally run out of anything to say, just simply repeat the most important word of what he or she just said with the question. 1. Get comfortable with silence. Whenever we are in a conversation, we often feel the need to be the one carrying the conversation. And whenever there is silence, we get really stressed and panicky, like, oh my god, I don't know what to say next, there's completely silence. And we begin to panic. But the point is to realize that silence is a perfectly normal part of a conversation. Usually there are cuts in a conversation before it can go on naturally. And conversations are a two-way street, and you should never feel the obligation to be the one carrying the conversation all of the time. Even when there is silence or when you have nothing to say, just wait for a while, because after a while your conversation partner will often initiate or ask you a question to continue the conversation. Even when there is silence, not all of it is awkward. Sometimes comfortable silence is a perfectly normal part of a conversation, but the most reassuring part is to know that less than 10% of communication is actually verbal. Even when you guys are not talking, communication continues in the form of body language, expression, and your mannerisms. So the point is, just become comfortable with silence, because the moment you do is when your conversations go much smoothly. Finally, conclusion. I hope these 5 tips have been helpful in making you into a better conversationalist. Whether you are talking to a girl or a boy or whatever you are talking to, these 5 tips are going to be useful. For me, I used to be really awkward at talking to other people, and I used to avoid situations where I have to talk to people because I was so afraid of talking to people. But I realized that this should never be the case, and it wasn't doing me any good. So I began to do research on how to become a better conversationalist and how to talk to people. And these 5 tips are the ones that I have used the most. But you have to realize that these needs practice. You can't just get them straight away. You have to internalize them. And that's why I asked you to get a piece of paper and pen to write them down, because you internalize them much better. So the next time you're going into a conversation, be conscious of these 5 topics, apply them in a conversation, and you'll realize that automatically you become better at talking to people. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, because we are a growing channel and we need as much support as we can get from you. If you're somebody who want to get better at socializing, this channel focuses on providing with the resources and lessons needed to succeed in a social setting. So if you want to be informed whenever we post a video, do click the like button and press the notification bell so that you are updated. Lastly, I want to put out an appreciation message to everybody who has watched the videos on this channel. I'm doing this while working full-time, so a lot of hard work and free time goes into producing these videos. So your support in the form of likes, comments, and subscribes really mean the most to me, and I appreciate them deeply from the heart. With that, this is Calvin from The Modern Asian Man. Thank you for watching.